Hi everyone. Aside from our usual trashy language, we talk about some difficult topics at the end of this episode, mainly suicide and gun violence. So if those things trigger you, you may want to skip this one. Thank you and enjoy the show. Hi everyone, welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where we totally don't notice when our own minivan is following us from behind. Like, what?
We'll talk about it. That is a real hole in the story. In the rewatch, you realize how many weird holes there are. This is a big one.
You know, I don't know if you've listened to me long enough, but you know my husband is a car person. Like,
yes,
he identifies people by their cars.
Okay.
Oh, like that woman who's the mother of the kid's friend, she drives a Buick, right?
Right.
Oh, I guess. Whatever. There is no planet on which he would not know. And I drive the most common car there is.
Right.
He would be like, oh, who's that basic bitch in the red RAV4 behind me? You would know immediately.
The other day I was driving and I saw Todd has a Tesla, which we'll never be buying another Elon Musk car. We'll just leave it that way. But at the time we did.
Cybertruck, I feel your pain. Go on.
So I have no problem with electric cars. It's just, anyway. But the other day I was driving and I was behind same color, same make and model of his car. I just don't know his license plate off the top of my head. But I thought it was him for a minute. Like that's...
Yeah. There's no way this would have happened.
Nope.
Anyway, I'm your host, Amy Archer. I'm here with the amazing Amanda this morning. It's early. We are here. We're dedicated to this craft.
We are.
It is Sunday morning at 8:15 or 8:30. And
we're soldiers for our craft.
Yes. Yes. I just got back from Toronto. So a couple things. One is I saw Niagara Falls and I was really excited. So here's the backstory, because you might be like, why is this nerd so excited to see Niagara Falls? The backstory is I traveled nowhere as a young person.
Okay.
Like, I just didn't. My parents took us to the Jersey Shore every summer and like that was it.
Okay. Yep.
And then I did go to Disney World when I was 10.
Okay.
And then, I was married to someone who was an agoraphobic and I was with him for 10 years. So, like, we just went nowhere. Sure. Zero. So when I met Timmy and it was somebody who wanted to travel with me, I was like super excited. So I started making all these little like bucket lists for myself, not necessarily with him, but like going to the Pacific Ocean was a huge dream of mine, to go to California.
Yeah.
So to do that, I was 40 when I saw California and I was like super excited.
Yeah.
So long story short, this is why I get so excited over stupid shit. But Niagara Falls, I was like just gobstruck. Like, it was amazing.
It's gorgeous.
It was amazing. The town, not so much.
Yeah, the town of Niagara Falls on either side is not great. The Canadian side's better. But the falls themselves are stunning. Yes. One year, my ex-husband and I were there over Canada Day and 4th of July, and we got a falls view room. So we could see the fireworks going off the falls, both on the U.S. side and the Canadian side. One time I was in Buffalo for work and I went to the falls in the dead of winter and they were like frozen, which was incredible.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. The falls are amazing. The towns are weird, but the falls themselves are stunning.
There's just so much I haven't seen. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've traveled more in the last 5 years than I ever have in my life, because then I meet somebody who will travel with me. And what do? I get pregnant with twins.
Right.
So, like, we couldn't go anywhere for 10 years. So long story short, I was thrilled to see that. Thank you for your guidance through Toronto. We had a great time there. We were only there for 2 or 3 days. I was telling Amanda off air, it was 9,000 degrees. It was 9,000% humidity. Any girl of size knows what that means. The chafing's happening, the sweating.
The sweating in all the places are happening.
So gross. One of my favorite parts is we walked to Kensington Market and I loved it there.
Oh, good.
It was amazing. I loved it. Just the art, it was awesome. And like I was telling everybody when I got back, like it was a big city to me. I kept comparing it to New York because I've never been to Chicago, but everybody says it's about the size of Chicago.
Yep.
It was New York, but like there was no hostility. There was no horn beeping. There was no cop on every corner. There was no homeless person on every corner. Like, we saw a few, but it wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
And it was
It's
just a
very different.
different vibe to go to a concert. We went to a concert, no metal detectors,
That's so
no, like,
mind-blowing to me.
no anxiety that somebody's gonna do something. You're not, like,
Mhm.
watching, it was
Yep.
I
It's
I I love America, but we could take a note on how to treat each other, let me tell you.
We could take a lot of notes from the Canadians, and,
Yeah.
I know you know this, I don't know if everyone else probably most people listening to us don't know this. I actually work for a Canadian company that is headquartered in Toronto, which is why I was able to give Amye guidance from my coworkers, and I've been there a couple times, but the feeling of Canada and Canadian people is just different than us.
Yeah.
It's just different enough that it feels, like, different. It's weird. I love Canada. I am a wannabe
Lighter
Canadian.
somehow, like, just
It's
lighter.
lighter. Yeah, and it's just I
Not
notice this
everyone
the
is
people I work
angry.
with, not that they don't work really hard and aren't really dedicated to what they're doing. It's not that, but it's not this like, "Oh my god, we have to work until midnight every night," and blah, blah, blah. It's like,
Yeah.
no, we
Yeah.
do what we do and we go home, and sometimes you have to hunker down. It's just a different approach to life, and
Yeah, it's
it's
really
lovely.
wild.
But if you saw any signage around, for an app called PC Health, that is what I work on.
I did not, but I did see signage for ButtCon.
Oh, cool.
And
Do
I
we
thought,
know what
"Oh,
we do at ButtCon?
Backdoor
Right.
Friends
Do
should
do
have a
we
table at
we
ButtCon."
should. Do we know what we do at ButtCon? I mean, I can think of a multitude of things that this could be.
I don't know. I don't ask questions.
Okay.
I don't
Ours is
ask
not to
questions.
question, it's merely to
Yes.
accept.
So, anyway, I got home yesterday. We got home yesterday. We drove it took us 7 hours. We got stuck at the border. It was ridiculous.
Mhm.
Not detained, just in
Yeah.
traffic stuck.
Yeah.
And, so we got home and I immediately watched Yellowjackets last night. And that was a nice, like, palate cleanser, you know what I mean? To,
Right.
like, it was nice. After a day of traveling, it was nice to sit back with, Lottie and the girls
Lottie and the
and just
girls.
enjoy my night. So,
Yeah,
Amanda is our primary note taker on this one.
I
And you're
am.
rewatching this with your husband as well?
So I'm rewatching season 2 with my husband because he never watched it. He actually got really pissed at me for starting it without him,
Oh,
and
okay.
I
Sorry, Todd.
yeah, but we're watching it. But last night we did, episode 6 and 7, which
Mhm.
I swore I would never watch again. Well, 6 I
6 was
swore I'd never
tough,
watch. Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about episode 3, season 1, The
Yes.
Dollhouse.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun. So we are going to do this in a way that we sort of usually do. We did not do episode 1 this way. We'll do all the wilderness stuff, and then we will do all of the modern day stuff, but we'll save like a bunch at the end because it really jumped back and forth between a lot of times. I was telling Amye before we went on air, I did this time actually number the scenes because I was just curious. It's 26 scenes,
It's a
which is
lot.
feels like a lot in an hour.
It's a
I need to
lot.
start like clocking this on other shows because I'm
Yeah.
curious. Um, but almost, it's not 100%, but it almost is always one wilderness, one modern, one wilderness, one modern, one wilderness, one modern.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A couple times it's not, but it's pretty close to that. But we do start in the wilderness this time. We're burying our friends.
Well, let's just say we did say it's
We did
Dollhouse.
the
Where does
dollhouse.
that
Yes,
come from?
I don't know. I was thinking about that.
I was too, and I couldn't think of it.
I'm not sure either.
I mean, there's literally a doll in Thaisa's house. Are we that literal about this?
It could well be. I mean, that's the only doll we really see, and that is a creepy doll.
All dolls are creepy. I
All dolls
mean,
are creepy,
and
and
all kids are creepy in this show.
this episode comes back to your plan of we need to give Sammy back. Sammy is
Yes,
broken.
he's broken. We need to return him.
We need to return him. But we're not at Sammy yet. We're in the woods, and we're saying nice things about people. Rachel, we're real sad. She'll never hear Wonderwall again.
Yeah. No
R.I.P.
Oasis
Rachel.
concert for Rachel.
Yeah, no,
Mm.
none of that. I just felt like that was so teenagery of like thinking of the things that they'll never do. It's not the big things. It's like not they'll never have a baby. It's she's not going to get to see Oasis next month.
I know, it's so weird. Like, do you have any friends who died as teenagers? Like, we all do.
I don't have
Like,
a
schoolmates even.
yeah, a young woman my senior year of high school died.
Yeah.
Um and I remember that. And there was a lot of those thoughts of like, oh my gosh, it's just strange. Actually, one of my best friends when I was in second grade died. And
Yeah,
that was
I
much
had a
more
good friend
remarkable.
of mine die my senior year, and she was my best friend earlier in my life, but then we kind of drifted apart, you know how
Mhm.
that goes. And she
Yep.
battled with leukemia back and forth, and finally she died our senior year. And I remember thinking maybe about 5 years ago, I was like, Shane has never lived to see social media, has
Yeah.
never lived to see like what has become of this country. And it just struck me like out of the
Yeah.
blue as real weird.
It is
That
weird.
unrealized life. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it is very strange when you think about all the things that you miss, and you think about the big things, but then you think about the little things, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
going
Like
to a
their life
concert.
just stops at some point. It's
It's so
weird.
weird. Death is weird.
Anyway,
Um,
deep
but
thoughts.
anyway, Laura Lee wants to pray, of course, and this is one of the few times where it doesn't feel weird. I'm like, okay, I
Yeah,
support
it
this.
feels appropriate.
It does. In all of the graves, I did notice that there is a grave for Coach Ben's leg.
No, stop
Actually,
it.
actually labeled Coach Ben's leg.
No, stop it.
Hand to God. Hand to
Stop
God.
it. Are you
Of all
joking
the
me right
graves,
now?
it's on the right. It's the farthest over on the right-hand side. I swear to God.
Oh, I need to
Coach
go
Ben's
back and
leg.
rewatch that. That's
Yes.
gonna be a screenshot in,
That made me laugh really hard.
Backdoor Friends when we talk
Yes.
about this.
Yes. By the way, what I'm trying to do in this episode is I'm trying to clock who, particularly because I'm watching season 2, who is in season 2 that was not in season
Yes.
1.
Yes.
Even Todd the other night watching season 2, he's like, "Wait, where are these people coming from?" I'm like,
There's a
"Yes,
lot of girls standing around that circle, the
right."
prayer circle.
But we never see them again, but we see different girls.
Yes. Yep. I don't know.
It's
They just
very strange. That's one
not
of their
important.
continuity errors. Yeah, one of their continuity errors. Um, and Ty flashes back to her grandmother dying, which becomes a theme that we see over and over again in this episode. And her grandmother tells her dying's nothing to be afraid of. God will call us back to heaven and the angels. And Ty has to take off. This is all too much. And
Yeah.
this is, I mean, this actually is a ton of reverence for these girls who seem to be struggling with reverence in all of this.
Yes.
They
I
really take
feel
this
like
seriously.
I feel kind of like death is nothing to be afraid of, or how we face death is kind of the theme of this episode.
Yeah,
Because we
because
see like Coach Ben begging for it. We see what happens with Travis. We
mhm,
see Thais's grandmother. Like, I
yeah.
just feel like how we face or embrace death is kind of the overarching theme. I could be wrong. I'm always looking for one. It's the
I
English
know, and
teacher.
I think you're right, and I think how they all look at it is very different, and, like, Javi coming to terms with his father's death and
Yep.
not being able to. Yeah, it's really
Yep.
interesting. But our next scene, which happens to be scene 5, is Jackie has the worst poison ivy,
Yeah.
which I feel hurt because I am desperately allergic to poison ivy.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Okay.
I'm one of those people, like, I get one blister and I go on steroids immediately. It's
Oh,
bad.
okay. Gotcha.
But I was feeling for Jackie in that moment. I'm like, "Oh, that sucks." They talk about rationing food, that
Hmm.
maybe that's a good idea because 'cause it's been 3 days and no one's found them yet. Oh, kids, you have no idea what you're in for. There was Snackwell cookies.
There were Snackwell cookies.
I
And I love
love
how she's like,
Snackwell cookies.
pretend it's bacon.
Right.
Been there. Been
Yes,
there.
on all counts. Cutting up a Snackwell cookie, that's the saddest of sads, like, when you
Yes.
can't even let yourself eat a whole Snackwell
Oh,
cookie.
Jesus.
Um, Jackie's sure the rescuers are coming, but you can just tell everyone's getting a little nervous, like, I think they're thinking they should be found by now.
I have thoughts on Jackie. We'll get there.
Okay,
I think she's. We'll get there.
okay.
Yeah.
Javi and Travis are not handling their father's death well, which
No.
of
Mm-mm.
course not. Um, and I forgot about this, that Javi won't stop chewing the gum that his dad gave him. And all I could think of is how disgusting 3-day-old gum is.
I know, but I so get it. I
But I
get
so
it.
get it. I,
Mm-hmm.
I can totally see it. Misty tries to feed Ben, and she's using being able to give him pain
That's
pills as a way to
cringy.
make him eat. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's real cringy. Um, and then Ty comes back, and she found a lake, which is super great. Jackie's keeps trying to take control, but
But here's what I was gonna say. You saw Jackie's face in that
yeah.
moment, and I recognize that, and I think what that is she's not sure physically she can do this. And it's a
Mm.
panic. So it's like, I
Ah,
gotta keep everybody here because 'cause I'm comfortable here.
right,
And, like,
yeah.
we see that later and stuff. I think that Jackie's just not built for this
No,
and
no.
is, like, melting down
Oh, yeah.
because she's so used to being the top banana and being in
Mhm.
charge and being so great, but this is an area where she's not.
No, and she's used to living very comfortably,
Yes.
and this is not
She's
comfortable. I
not
mean, you and
made
I
for
have both
this.
said, like, we wind
Oh,
up in
I'd be
these
dead. I just complained about walking around Toronto in the heat. I'd be dead.
I know.
I'd be dead.
This would not go well. So they go to a vote about going to the water. Coach can't make the decision. They vote. Jackie, Lottie, Laura, Lee, and Mari want to stay at the plane.
Mhm.
Everyone else wants to go. So, and you can see at the very end, Shauna puts her hand up. She was waiting to see where the majority went.
Yep.
She was not gonna. Again, she does what people tell her to do.
And she was nervous about going against Jackie,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
she got there.
Yep. So Van smartly grabs the compass from the plane. That would never have
Mhm.
occurred to me, but that's super smart. They make a stretcher for Coach, and they write on the plane in lipstick. Love that.
Yeah, because that's not gonna wash off.
No, no, not at all. But they think folks are coming in a day.
Yeah.
Like they think
They're
this
not
is really.
coming in a day, guys. They're not.
No, they're not. You got a lot of months here, kids. Um, and they also brought their bags with them, which I thought was interesting. Like if you thought you're just going to a lake to
Yeah.
get water,
Yeah.
I don't know if it would occur to me that we are now moving all of ourselves
Well,
to the lake.
maybe that was the thing. Maybe they want to set up camp near the lake.
Maybe. And
Yeah.
that's completely possible. Though they did have the fuselage from the plane to stay in
Mhm.
potentially.
I was yelling, "Don't drink that lake water."
Oh, I know. God knows what's in there.
Anyway,
But it's better than nothing. So, um, and Ty thanks Shauna for supporting her, but Shauna's like, mm-mm, you know.
I just did what I thought was right. Yeah.
Yeah, she
I
doesn't
like
know.
how she says, "You think we have control over anything out here and we don't. Like we
Ooh,
know nothing."
we know nothing. We are
Yeah.
we are we are raw dogging this all over the place. We have no idea what's happening here. We're now at scene 7. We're walking to the lake, and they see a dead animal rotting. And Coach says, "A wolf can kill anything if the pack is big enough."
It was a bear, a huge bear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Coach is seeing the future of what's going to happen with this Lord of the
Yep.
Flies situation that's brewing here.
Yep.
More hiking to the lake, and everyone's starting to like just seem uncomfortable because
Yeah.
they're like, this seems like more than 4 miles. But then we find the lake, and
Oh, I love that scene.
the song "Dreams" by the Cranberries
Love it.
is a significant song in my romantic life.
Ooh,
Yeah,
do
the first
tell.
the first so one of the first great loves of my life was actually someone who is now one of my best friends. We met
Oh,
in college. We met online in 1994, which was not a thing that people did.
yes.
And he was in Oregon and I was in Delaware, and we thought we were in love with each other for about 10 minutes. Well, he thought he was in love with me for about 10 minutes. I thought I was in love with him for about 8 years. No,
Yeah.
wasn't quite that long, but wasn't far from it. But anyway, the first time we ever spoke on the phone, this song was playing in my dorm room, and
Oh,
I put things
nice.
together. So yeah,
I
always makes
love
me
that
happy.
story.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
we
we
met
all
nine.
had like one of those unrequited loves that,
I had a
you were
lot of
like,
unrequited loves.
yeah, but then you were like, maybe we're better off as friends if,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I like, Timmy and I were that love story.
Yeah, we were best friends and we still are. And um we're both only children, and we've kind of conceded that we're sort of the sibling the other one never wanted or
There
needed,
you
but
go.
are really happy to have. And if we ever lived together, we'd probably kill each other.
Well, and I love the idea that sometimes you're just drawn to somebody and you know they should fit in your life,
Yep.
but you're not sure in which role. And now,
Hmm.
like, you found the role.
Yep. We have
I
our
like
role.
that.
He
Hmm.
lives in Seattle. I'm in Philadelphia. We have never lived anywhere near each other
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
ever. So
yeah.
yeah,
I
it's a
like
wonderful
that.
thing.
And
But yeah.
now
So
I'm
anyway,
I'm one of the greatest loves of your life.
you are one of the greatest loves of my life. This is true. Okay.
Oh, okay, all right.
Thankfully, this love is not unrequited. Okay,
No, it is
so
not.
the girls lose their minds at this lake, and they like toss off their clothes and they go swimming, and it's just
Oh, I
like
love it. I love it.
it's
It's
pure
just
joy.
reckless abandon. It's like
Yeah,
I'm stripping down to my undies. I don't give a fuck, and I'm
right.
jumping in that lake. Except Jackie.
Except for Jackie,
Except
she took
Jackie.
a long time to
Yep.
eventually get
She's
there.
like, "It's freezing." She
She
is
can't
so
let go.
me in these moments. Like,
Yeah,
I would
she
be
can't
like,
let
"It's too
go.
cold. I can't." Like,
Yeah, and it was just fun to like again, like these are all elite athletes and at the prime of their life.
Yes.
physical prime of their
Yes.
life, and it's just lovely. Also, I noticed this is the first time we see Nat noticing Travis.
Yes.
Nat's paying attention to Travis taking his shirt off and jumping in the water.
Yes. Well, so is Mari.
So is Mari, yeah. I
And
think
Jackie's like, "You 2 are losers."
right? This guy? I'm like,
Yep.
"You were with Jeff,
And
Jackie, like the
before
most bland person on the planet."
I know. And before somebody corrects me, when I said Jackie can't physically do this, I know she's an athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, like, physically, like, this is mentally she's breaking down because physically she cannot be in an uncomfortable space.
Yeah, she
Like,
cannot
this
handle
will do
discomfort.
her in. Yes.
Yep, for sure. Um, so we're still playing at the lake. Misty keeps trying to flirt with Coach.
Oh god,
Oh,
it's
girl,
so
it's
bad.
so
It's so
it's so awkward.
just stop.
Shawnee Shauna
Shawnee.
looks at Jackie, who, like, turns up chatting with Mari to make her jealous. Like,
It's so
these 2
weird.
are
Did you hear what Mari was saying? "We should move our lockers next to each other. It only makes sense. I mean, we've bonded the last couple days." Like,
oh, I
"What?
didn't hear that part. Yeah,
What?"
that
Yeah.
first of all, you don't get to choose where your lockers are, or at least in my high school. It's like, it was by your
Sometimes
homeroom,
you
it was
do. Yeah.
alphabetical, it
No.
was where you are. Um, but yeah, like, we can already see this, like, Shauna, Jackie
Yes. Yes. Yes.
happening. Um, and oops, I misdid my thing here because the scene is actually in the real world, so we'll come back to that. Remind me of that. Anyway, so now Ty and Van are making eyes at each other.
Yes.
Uh-huh. I think something must have happened between the 2 of them before the
Maybe.
woods.
I
And
just
even
love
if there was
how
just flirting.
yes. Yes. I love how Ty just smiles ear to ear every time she sees Van.
Mhm. It's the sweetest thing,
It's
and,
very
I
sweet.
mean, when the crash happened, Ty's first thing was to find Van. So
Yes.
clearly there's something here.
There's a
Anyway,
connection. Mhm.
Lottie's playing in the water. She spies something on the hill, and it is our very favorite well-stocked cabin. It was kind of fun to come back into the cabin, how
Mhm.
they found it, to
Yeah.
realize, again, this is the most well-stocked cabin, but I don't think it started out
Well,
that
and it
way.
keeps right, it keeps getting more well stocked,
It
like,
does!
as we go. I guess the new people arriving are bringing supplies in.
Yes, exactly. How are we dropping these new people off and their again, there is every candle in this cabin that has ever been sold at IKEA
Yes.
ever.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
There's so many candles. It
Yep.
it looks it looks oh, it actually in some ways, particularly when there's, like, moss growing on the inside, it reminds me of Kate Winslet's house in The Holiday.
I remember that house.
That cute
Yes.
little
Yep,
thing, it
yep.
reminds me of that. So anyway,
It
so
reminds me of Mel's cabin in Virgin River, which
which I
is
still haven't
my
watched.
favorite soapy soap.
Okay, I need to watch that. So, we got candles, but not enough. Again, based on this, they find cans of food, which is gross because it's all spoiled.
Mhm.
Jackie freaks out, is having a total temper tantrum about all this. She is not doing okay.
Things are out of her
Um,
control, and she doesn't know how to handle it.
yes. And Shauna's watching her starting to come undone, but isn't quite trying to help her yet.
Right.
Um, Van finds porn, which is
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yep.
It's important. And Travis walks out. Javi follows. Travis had brought one of the mags, which made me laugh. I was like, "Are you excusing yourself to an interior room somewhere in the woods, my friend? Is that what's happening?" Um, and he makes Javi spit out the gum. Like, he's done with this.
Yeah,
He's
like,
done with
forcefully
Javi
makes him
morning.
do it. It's
Mhm.
bad.
Yeah. And Travis says, "Dad was always a dick, and now he's fucking dead."
Yeah.
They're not
So
dealing
we're
well
we're
with this.
learning a little more about their family dynamic,
Yeah.
which we're always curious.
Right, and we suspected it when we saw the father kiss the mother goodbye, and she was just it
Mhm.
was very not attached to each other.
No.
But Nat's watching all this happen. So,
Yes.
Nat's paying a lot of attention to Travis now.
Mhm.
Um, Jackie's sitting outside, Shauna brings her blankets, Jackie doesn't want she doesn't wanna be mad at her, but she's just really scared, and she
Yeah,
finally admits they
yeah.
finally admit what's happening here. Shauna says she needs her best friend right now, and they cuddle in a very
Well,
sweet way.
but you could see Shauna's face. Shauna gave that to Jackie.
Mhm.
She didn't need it. Jackie
Mm-mm.
needed it.
Jackie needed it.
And Shauna gave it to her, and you could see Shauna's face like, "Okay." You know what I
Okay.
mean?
But I also think she is really scared.
She probably is, but
Yeah.
I just think Jackie, she's not used to like, she's the captain of the team.
Yeah.
You know, she's supposed to be running the show, and she is just not at all.
No, she just does not know how to fix this.
Nope.
But Jackie says the worst is behind us. We survived a plane crash. It will be fine.
Hmm.
Not so much, girl. Ben's leg is attracting flies, which is
Ugh.
gross. Of course it is. Misty tries to help him and he hits her.
Yeah, that was intense.
It was intense. Um, and she comforts him while he asks why couldn't he have just died. And Misty
Yeah.
thinks this means their romance is going well. You can see in
Yeah.
her eyes, she's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, he
Misty's
needs
like,
me."
"Yeah, this is the best relationship I've ever had."
Right, right. And we
Mhm,
learned, and
mhm.
I was reminded again because Misty says at the compound, "I've never been broken up with."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Though she did get really rejected by Ben on a multitude of times and reasons. But
Yeah.
anyway, so now we're not in the wilderness, but we jump to Ty's grandmother's bedroom.
Yes.
And we come back to this place a couple times, and particularly at the end, and her grandmother starts freaking out.
Mhm.
Like you could tell Ty's really nervous to approach her grandmother. We're clearly doing like a hospice at home situation. Her
Yep.
grandmother's is circling the drain.
Yep.
And she starts freaking out because she sees the man with no eyes in
Yeah.
the mirror. And
Well,
I think
she
Ty sees
goes
her too.
yes, she goes through all of this about the angel will come, the angel
Mhm.
will come, and, you know, Ty you could see, like, little Ty is, like, comforted by that, which, of course, that's the function of religion, right? Comforts
Sure.
us in our
Yep.
darkest moments, and then what does she see? She sees
This
not an angel.
no, this creepy dude with no eyes, which we see many other times, including in the cabin when Jackie dies. Like, but this comes back to the idea that Ty had these experiences before she was ever in the woods.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and she follows the man with no eyes when she's two people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just figuring out the places where these things existed before the crash versus stuff that was invented after the crash or
Well,
created after.
and I wonder, like, did this cause her dissociation?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because that would terrify like, seeing my dying grandmother screaming as a man with
right.
no eyes approaches
Coming to
her.
take me. Yes.
I
Dog.
think, not only would I need my therapist, Janet, sitting right next to me 24/7, but I would be dissociating. I would be
Yeah.
like, "Wow."
I'm gonna not be here anymore
Yeah.
because this is
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
And we're gonna wrap up the wilderness in a minute with this last scene, but we'll come back to it at the very end. And Lottie says the cabin gives her a bad feeling, but Ty won't
Yeah.
let her sleep outside.
Right.
But Lottie's freaked out. So,
Right.
okay, now we're in current day. Our second scene is where we're starting here, and we're at Ty's gorgeous house in that kitchen that I would kill
That
or die
house.
for.
I feel like that house belongs in, like, Georgetown,
Yeah,
right? Like, I
I
don't know
wonder
where
where
it
they
is.
live.
I don't know. I wanna say New Jersey.
Well, I think they're definitely in New Jersey because many times it's New Jersey state senator.
Maybe
I'm just
Jersey
wondering what
City, maybe Hoboken, maybe,
Hoboken
somewhere
is kind of what I'm feeling like.
yeah.
Like it's just enough of a city, but it's not Newark. It's not Trenton. It's not like
Right,
a super struggling city.
right.
Um, but who knows? But
But that's like
yes.
a classic brownstone,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
okay.
I want that house so
Yeah.
bad.
Mhm.
Um, so Ty's making coffee, and she gets an email with the opponent's ad talking about cannibalizing education.
Yes, and
Like
she's chomping down on a chicken
rib,
bone or rib or something, yeah.
which looked fucking delicious, whatever she was eating.
Yes.
And Simone tells her he's just a Mitch McConnell wannabe. It's like what a
Yeah,
few
that was
times they
pretty good.
acknowledge
That was pretty good.
like real life in
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Um, and Simone's really reminding her of who she is and why she did this. Like Simone is
Mhm.
just very she's super supportive, even though you can tell she does not like this. I sort of imagine Simone being the Michelle Obama to Barack, of
Mm.
like the reluctant.
Hmm.
Because Michelle Obama is real open and honest. She did not
Yeah,
want him to
she
run
did
for
not want to
president.
run.
She didn't
She
want to
knew
do
what it
any of
would
this.
she knew what it would mean.
Yep.
Mhm.
And so I kind of feel like Simone is a little bit of that, but um, who knows?
Yeah.
And Sammy wants to take Biscuit to the park. Biscuit. Uh,
Biscuit
all right.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Biscuit. Biscuit, enjoy that park because things aren't going to go well for you in the future. Next, we're at Shay, Jeff, and Shauna. Jeff's making a smoothie. Remember in the episode before, Shauna had seen the text from Bianca saying, meet me at the usual place at 4.
Yep.
So Shauna,
Yep.
of course, is like, hey, can you pick me up from dropping off my car at 4? And he's like, oh,
Mhm.
no, have to be at the store. If you told me yesterday, I could have done it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. This is where all the plot holes come to nest here
yes,
in this
exactly.
storyline.
Oh, good Lord. Again, it's everything having to do with Jeff and this stupid blackmailing thing. It just was
Mhm.
weird. Um, so now we're back on the Misty Nat road trip.
Yes.
Um, Misty is going on about her dating life, making it sound way more successful than it actually
Yeah.
is.
Natalie's like, "Just get me the fuck out of here."
Yeah, she just wants to go to Travis's. They're listening to Cats, the magical Mr. Mistopheles, which made me giggle too. They stop for gas. Nat asks Misty to get her a snack because she wants to go
Mm.
through the car. Like she wants to get Misty out of here a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
She digs through her glove
Glove
box.
box.
There's a lucky rabbit's foot in there.
Yes, there is. I was hoping you
Mhm.
clocked that.
I sure did.
That
Lucky rabbit's
spilled
foot.
out first.
Yep.
Yep.
And then, of course, the pulled wires from Nat's car.
Yes.
Not just wires, but the fact that it said like Porsche right
I
along them.
know.
I'm like,
I
I don't
know. I
think that's
know.
true, but okay, sure. Now we're outside the furniture store, which we notice is their name, Sudeki or whatever. So he owns the furniture store.
Oh, I did not clock that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
Sudeki's furniture. It's like
Alright.
when I was a
I mean, I
kid.
thought he was the manager because he talks before about leading from the front.
Right. No, he's the
So,
owner.
okay.
Um, and it reminds me of like Sudeki's furniture. My when I was a kid, my dad owned a linoleum store, and it was literally Lipnack's linoleum. It's great. It was actually my grandfather's and my father's. So
Well,
anyway,
I am married to one of the legacy owners of Archer's Clothing. So,
nice, nice. I like
yes.
that. So Shauna is watching outside the furniture store in their car, 4 cars down from Jeff.
Yep, right there. I mean,
Right
Jeff
there.
is the most unobservant person I've ever seen in my life.
Seriously. And if you're doing something slightly sketchy, why you aren't looking around everywhere you're going, I don't know.
Right.
But and Kim Wilde's Cambodia is playing. I love that song. And Shauna sees Jeff leave and follows him. Like
Yep.
doesn't even really try to stay that far back.
Sorry, I'm having a sneezing attack over here.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. Like she's one car behind him at the
Uh-huh.
light, and the other cars are blowing their horns. And
Right.
he doesn't look in his rearview mirror.
No, and at one point she kind of ducks down,
Yeah, no,
but like
no.
her head is
Mm-mm,
still sticking
mm-mm.
up. Like
Timmy would be like, "I knew that was your car because that one piece of trim on the driver's side is up a little bit." Like that's him.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no way that Todd wouldn't realize this.
Nope.
And it's just all I kept saying is, "This is dumb. This is dumb. This is dumb." Jeff pulls into the hotel, gives the car to the valet, and hurries in. And then Shauna also parks and follows him.
Which had a little love and death feel to it, them
It
meeting at the
did.
hotel. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, and she thinks he's there to have an affair.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
irony is ironic sometimes. So anyway, we jump to Ty at the playground. She calls Jessica Spencer.
Uh-huh.
Spencer, is that her name?
No,
Last name?
Jessica. Walters?
I don't know. Jessica. I wrote
Jessica
this in the name.
Walters. Wait, isn't that the woman from Archer? Hold on. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll have the
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, we're back. It's Jessica Roberts.
Roberts.
Mhm,
Dang. Okay.
mhm.
So anyway, calls Jessica. Jessica confirms that no one is talking. So
Yes.
now we have the confirmation that Ty is using Jessica to get it at everybody.
Yes.
Jessica also confirms that Thais's opponent's daughter is an addict.
Yeah.
And she's over 18, so she's fair game. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want this.
This is why I could never be in politics, because I would
Yeah.
play too nice.
Yeah, and
I know.
You can tell Ty's really tempted to go dirty. Then she hears a kid scream fall off the jungle gym. Sammy admits to hurting the kid. This is where I put Sammy is not okay. Send him back to the orphanage. Trade him in. This child is not okay.
We need to check that return policy on those
Yes.
papers.
I'm not happy with this purchase.
I'm telling you, creepy kid, forget it.
Mhm.
Gen Xers know better. We would never fall for this shit. Come on, Thaisa.
Now, come on,
Jesus.
girl.
The
This is
minute,
bad.
like I said, the minute those crayons come out, forget it. You're going back.
The minute you're talking about the bad woman in the tree.
Nope.
Bye-bye. Bye, Sammy. It's been nice knowing you. So we're now back at the house, Ty is telling Simone what happened, and it turns out the kid was making fun of Ty as a cannonball.
Yes.
So this is clearly coming out. Sammy didn't get hurt, but Ty wants to hit back. Like, she's pissed. And I get that. And
So
Simone
this
is
means that this idea of them eating each other is in the
in the
zeitgeist
cultural
around
zeitgeist.
this.
Exactly.
Yes. So that's interesting to me because how did that oh, hi, Leo. How did that start? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, where did they just assume, like, oh my God, they had to have eaten each other?
Yeah, and they were out in the woods for 19 months, and we'd all seen alive at this point. I don't know. I don't know if we ever get confirmation in the public of cannibalism, or if
Again,
it's just assumed.
if I'm the writers, and the writers on this show are really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm the writer, season 3 is gonna be the family's stories.
Mm-hmm. The family stories and how the community responded to this.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, that's what we need to have happen.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I'm not sure where they're going to go if they don't go there and then come back. But who knows? So, and in all of this, Simone is just annoyed that Ty isn't focusing on parenting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, I go back to Barack and Michelle. Like, she talked about how annoyed she got that he wasn't around to parent. And I get
Yeah.
that. It's hard.
But in 2012, she went into that national convention and won that re-election for him,
Yes,
didn't
she
she?
did.
Yes, she did, with that story about the Flintstone car and him pulling his college furniture out of the dumpster. One of the greatest speeches ever delivered. Like, if you
Oh,
want to
yeah.
study speech writing, there you go.
She's such a powerhouse. I love her so
We
much.
love her.
So Ty wants to talk to Sammy about what happened. And he tells her to be quiet. Like, he's getting mean. See, again, kid's not right.
No.
She grabs his creepy doll away.
Again, bringing a creepy doll in the house. Goodbye.
Right. No.
You're done.
Just try to get his attention. And Sammy looks scary. Like,
Yes, he
gets
does.
crazy looking. Tells
I
his
mean,
mother
that little kid is a good actor.
Yeah, he is. Or
Mhm.
he's also not well. Who knows? No, I'm sorry. The actor, I'm sure, is just fine. I don't want to cast aspersions on a small child actor. Oh, that was terrible of me. Okay. So, no, the kid who played Sammy, he's great. Sammy, not so much. So anyway, Sammy gets sent to his room. And I also wanted to note that I love Simone's wardrobe. I love all of her clothes.
She's a beautiful woman.
Oh my God, she's stunning.
Yes. Yep.
She is stunning.
She
She's the
has
most
like
beautiful
a Van
complexion.
quality to her, doesn't she?
She does.
Like, she's very chill, very laid back, very like she is the beta to Ty's alpha, definitely.
And interesting. No, I won't say this. No. We'll talk about this later. So,
are we gonna get canceled over what you're gonna say?
I'm gonna choose not to say this because it could turn out into a way I don't mean it to turn out to. So anyway, but now we're at Travis's house. Misty and Nat got there. Misty is sure that Travis has turned into the Unabomber.
Yeah, she's
again,
not wrong.
R.I.P.
There's newspapers on the windows.
Yeah, weird stuff's happening there too.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Ted Kaczynski. Actually, not R.I.P.
Are you R.I.P. in the Unabomber?
I said it. I don't mean to R.I.P. him. Just P or whatever. You're dead. Bye. Anyway, I'm not doing.
I'm like,
today.
wait,
I'm gonna get us so much.
I'm like, wait, have I missed a cultural moment where
no, we're still anti-Unabomber. We are. I feel like our country's very.
I thought I missed something.
Our country's very divided, though. I feel like we can all come together on not approving of the Unabomber. Okay,
how brave of us!
Little misrecap: taking a stand against the Unabomber, the man who's dead now. Anyway, so Nat just breaks the hell in. She doesn't care. Misty seems really worried. There are 2 glasses on the table, so I was really trying to pay attention to Travis's house to see if it translates to Lottie's story of being there. So there are 2 glasses.
Look at you, little Miss Detective. We're changing this podcast.
We're on this. We are on this. We haven't found a documentary with a murder to solve, but we're solving this.
We're solving Yellowjackets.
We're solving Yellowjackets. And Nat sends Misty out to go look through the trash. Mostly, she just wants Misty out of her face.
Well, and they find the really expensive alcohol.
Right. So this was also a very expensive bottle of booze.
Yes.
And there's 2 glasses. Which makes me think that maybe Lottie brought that. 'Cause
Yes.
why would Travis have the money for that?
Right.
There's one photo on his dresser, and it's a Polaroid of Nat and Travis.
Yes.
That's it. And she sees him quickly in the mirror out of the corner of her eye, but he's not there. Which, okay.
And as we all know, that's not really a good actor, so we were just like, "Who's that guy?"
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's fake Travis. We
I
don't
shouldn't say he's not a good actor. He's not a good match for the Travis
for the
of
young
for
Travis,
the
and
teen
it's
Travis.
yeah, because all of the other, like, teen adults, they did such a good job on, and it's like, "Oh, yeah, we need a adult for Travis."
Yeah.
Dude, on the street, you're also a brunette. Come here. Like,
Yeah. No.
that's about it.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, so Misty finds one of Travis's pay stubs, so now we know where he's working. He
Mhm.
works at a meatpacking farm, and Nat picks up that's a $200 bottle of booze.
Yeah.
Cop comes in, Nat tries to make nice. Cop's not having it. They get kicked off
Yeah,
to
he,
the,
like, comes
pokey.
in with his fucking gun drawn
Blazing, yeah,
and
like,
makes them, like, on their knees. Like,
it seemed
"Okay,
a little much
let's take it
for
down a notch."
rural New Hampshire,
Yeah.
checking out of a break-in, and you
Pretty
see 2,
wild.
like, bumbling 50-year-old women. I'm
Yeah,
not or 45-year-old women, I'm not sure.
pretty wild.
Anyway,
Little Mini Cooper out front, like, what is
yeah,
gonna happen here?
seriously. Um, Actually, it's not a Mini Cooper, it's a Fiat,
Oh, you're
and
right, it's a
and
Fiat.
I only know I
Mhm.
rented one of those once in Toronto, actually, and that car,
Okay.
like, could not get out of its own way if its
Yeah,
life
yeah,
depended on it. It was
yeah.
so bad. Anyway, so Misty, they're in jail, and Misty wonders if everyone thinks they're hookers. Like, she's trying to be more interesting than she is, always. Nat finally confronts her about the battery cable, and Misty admits wanting to come and wish her Nat wouldn't let her, and she's right. It's just this back and forth between the two of them. Nat gets let out to make a call. She calls Ty. Ty has no interest in helping her. She's done.
Yeah.
3 days out of rehab, she's already been arrested. Ty's
Mhm.
sure she's relapsed. She hasn't, but I get why Ty's like,
Yeah.
"This is my
Well,
boundary."
she's been drinking, like, she
She has
drank
been
at the
drinking,
bar
but
at
we don't
Whiskey, but
know. True, but we don't know what her sobriety
right, and
is.
she's
My
not
guess is
full blown, like, yeah.
she's having a drink. She's fine. But this is where we learned Ty paid for her rehab.
Mhm.
And Nat admits to looking for Travis, and Ty's like, "What are you doing, man? Travis doesn't want to be found. Leave him
Mhm.
alone."
Mhm.
Um, and Ty says that she and Travis are toxic for each other, that they're just not healthy for each other,
Yeah.
which is probably true. And Nat thinks clearly Ty has a perfect life.
Yes.
Like, she has a lot of resentment here, and little does she know things not so much.
Yeah.
Cool. And then Misty goes out to make her call.
Mhm.
So that's our next scene. And then we jump to the hotel bar or the hotel. And
Boy.
this is the scene that I put in the wrong place. So let me come up to it. There we go. So Shauna's trying to get Jeff's room
Mhm.
number, which is hilarious. She tells
Mhm.
them that she's with Homeland Security and they're tracking someone, and Adam pops right up.
Yeah, who is in okay, I have a lot of problems with this.
Same, same, same. Go ahead.
Correct me if I'm wrong that he works at the auto body shop.
Correct.
Okay. I am married to a skilled worker, somebody
Hmm.
in the trades. I know
Yes.
this crowd very well.
Sure.
They don't go to hotel bars
No.
for a drink.
No.
Not martinis in a hotel bar. I mean,
No.
that's just not I'm not okay. Let me backtrack a little bit. I'm not saying it's impossible,
But
but
it
I'm
seems
saying it's
implausible.
implausible. Right.
Yeah. It seems
Like,
like a
odds
stretch.
are this guy would be in a funky dive bar
Right.
rather than
Someplace
in a
more interesting.
hotel bar.
Because he's a mechanic and an artist.
He's
This
more
doesn't.
interesting than this. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
And he does say he has studio space down the street, but this place makes a good martini, and clearly Shauna needs one. So he's following her.
Yeah, something is up with this guy, and I'll save it for the end, but I did not clock this the first time I saw it. I did not see this.
Okay.
Like, I didn't make this connection, but go ahead.
Okay. Um, so Shauna and Adam are chatting, and they're going really deep, really quick.
Oh, they're Kurt Vonnegut in it, back and forth.
Yeah. Yes,
Mhm.
they are. And you can you can tell, like, Shauna is intrigued because I mean, she's so smart. We know that she's brilliant.
Mhm. Yep.
I do not think that Jeff is an equal intellectual match for her.
No.
And you
Sorry,
could
Jeff.
see, yeah, sorry, Jeff, but you could see, like, she's turned on by being able to have this
We all are.
or turned on, yes. But you can see she's so aching for it. Like, she doesn't
Yes.
get this anywhere in her life.
Yes. I mean, what is he quoting? Mother House? Is that the
I think
novel?
so,
And
yeah.
she does some Slaughterhouse-5 back? Like,
Mhm.
who
Yeah,
does
like,
this?
who does this? And she's also trying to see where Jeff is, trying to see if he pops up because she's trying to
Yeah,
figure out what's
and I
happening.
have to apologize, I'm letting the whole audience down with this one. I am an English teacher and a writer, and I have read Slaughterhouse-5 so long ago that I can't really know why she brings this quote in.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I
I
haven't read it
should
since high
know,
school.
and I did look through some themes from the novel, and there is this
Okay.
theme of the idea of free will, do we
Mm,
have it or don't we? So maybe
yep.
that is tied in here, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, who knows? But what's fascinating, Adam says, is, "We are who we pretend to be, so we have to be careful who we pretend to be,"
Yeah,
which I thought was a really great line.
yep.
They joke about their book club. Adam asks why she's there. She said she's just confirming a suspicion, and he tells her that her eyes are beautiful.
Well, she says, "I'm confirming a suspicion," and then he says, "When you confirm it, will it make you happy?"
Right.
I
Yeah.
thought that was an interesting
Uh-huh.
way to
That is
respond to somebody.
it's a very interesting way,
Yeah.
and it's an interesting way to respond to a stranger.
Yeah, because if you're a backdoor friend, you're like, "Oh,
Oh,
what are you trying to confirm? What are we
right.
doing? What's the
And
mission?"
is it going to be good or bad? What mission are we on? We are now
Yes,
on a mission
yes.
together, but it's just strange. Um, and we see Jeff walking with a blonde woman with a and it doesn't look contentious in the way you would think it would be with a loan shark. It looks
And it
very
doesn't look
comfortable.
intimate.
It doesn't look sexually intimate, but you can tell these 2 people are comfortable next to each other.
Yeah, sure. Mhm. But they're not
Um,
touching, like, he's
no,
just explaining something to her, it
right.
looks like. It looks like him walking with an employee he's known for 10 years.
Right, exactly. This looks
There's
like
a
a very classic Aaron
familiarity.
Sorkin walk and talk.
Yes,
This is
yes,
a
there
walk
we
and
go.
talk.
Mhm.
Um, and Shauna asks Adam why he's there, and he said, "Just to get a drink and maybe something out there has bigger ideas."
Yeah, I'm telling you, I have a whole new look on him.
Okay. And we also find out we jump back to the jail. Misty called Kevin and Kevin Tan to get him bailed out and find out Misty has been texting Kevin as Nat
She's been
and is
catfishing him.
she's been catfishing him and she's totally manipulating him using Nat, which worked out
Yep.
well for them because it got them
Mhm.
out of jail.
Mhm.
Um, Now we're in Sammy's bedroom. Ty comes
Mm.
in to have a talk. He says he can have Manny back, which is the doll, in the morning since he did a bad thing. And he asks Ty why people don't like her,
Mhm.
which is that's just heartbreaking. I mean,
I
there's
know.
nothing worse as a little kid to think that someone doesn't like your mom. Like
I
that's
know.
just so sad. And she tells him that whatever people say about her isn't true. And he says, "You're right. You aren't the bad one."
Yeah.
She asks if someone else is the bad one, and he just rolls over and says goodnight. Again, yikes, send the kid back.
Yeah. But now we know, like, that's the first mention of her having 2
Mhm.
personalities,
Not the
and
bad one, and Sammy sees it.
mm, yeah.
Simone doesn't know it. Sammy
No?
does.
Yes.
Yeah. And Ty is wrestling with what to do. She calls her
Again, I'm
opponent.
just gonna backtrack 1 second.
Yeah.
Um, if your kid is acting real weird, get rid of them, but also if your kid knows more than you. If you have one of
Yeah.
those super smart, gitted kids that can
Yeah,
see
get
more
rid
than
of him.
you,
It's too
take
much.
take him back. Return
Right.
him.
You need your kids to just be a titch down from you so you
You
can still
need to
stay in
know more than
control.
those kids, yes.
A little bit.
Like, if a kid is too smart, that's scary too. No. Mm-mm.
Exactly. No,
Mm-mm.
we need just a little bit of control somehow.
Yes.
Ty calls her opponent, says she knows about his kid's addiction, and she threatens him that if he does another attack ad,
And then she
she'll
says,
go after
"Don't fuck with me," and she turns around, her eyes are a different color.
him. Uh-huh. Yeah, we've got
That's
evil
the
Ty
bad
out.
one. Mhm.
Evil
Mhm.
Ty is out. And then before we wrap up at the final scenes, we see Shauna and Adam. There's an affair about to happen in this hotel, but it
Yeah.
is not Jeff.
No.
No, it is
No.
Shauna and Adam who are headed to Pound Town.
Yes.
They are
And that's
going
probably
straight to
like, that looks like your $300 a night hotel.
Right.
It's a lot of
So
money
he's paying
for
for
this.
this?
I don't know, I guess. I don't know what's happening. They
But
don't rent hourly, I can tell you that.
they do not rent hourly, and I get the sense that Shauna and Jeff do not have the extra cash for such a thing,
No,
but I can
he
also
didn't.
But I can also see Shauna just throwing it on her credit card and be like, "Fuck you, Jeff. When you see this in the
That's
bill,
true.
fuck you.
That's true.
I'm done."
Yeah, good point.
She
Mhm.
doesn't care. Who knows? Anyway, so we're gonna go through the last couple scenes jumped back and forth a lot. We have the tie final scene that I called it, and then we have the final scene. So
Okay.
this scene, we've got back and forth between Kerr and Ty, her grandmother's funeral, and Ty in the woods.
The way the writers did this was masterful.
It was just
It really
jumping
was.
one
Mhm.
move to
All with that
another.
connective thread of the eyes.
Yep,
It was amazing.
exactly. Um, and Ty's looking upstairs to see where, like, she wakes up and she hears creaking upstairs, very slowly
Mhm.
climbs up this ladder. Um, Kerr and Ty steps on Manny's eyeball. Okay,
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
doll is missing an eyeball. This doll's
Mhm.
got to go. There's creepiness at
Yes.
bay here.
Yes. The doll needs to
Baby,
go, the kid needs to go.
yeah, all of this needs to go. Baby Ty tries to feel if her nana's eyes are still there at the
Mhm.
funeral because the man
Mhm.
with no eyes. Um, and Ty gets up the ladder and Lottie's like in a corner, like kind of
Mhm.
hiding. And
Wilderness tie, yeah.
yeah, wilderness Ty. And Lottie's like, I told you there was something creepy up here. Yikes, there's something creepy.
Now
It's a dead
now,
dude.
this
Yes.
skeleton,
Yes.
there was a shotgun next to him, right?
I didn't notice.
There was a shotgun next to him,
Okay, I believe that.
but it didn't look like it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Right. Yeah, I don't
As
know
a
how he died.
shotgun, trigger alert, guys, I mean, a shotgun would have blown part of the
His
face apart.
You would think so because we
The
see his perfect
skeleton's
face.
right, fully intact.
Right.
So maybe he was, like, scared of something and had the gun with him, a la Dr. Loomis in Michael Myers' Halloween 4,
Yeah.
just sitting in that rocking chair with the shotgun.
Wow, not just Halloween, Halloween 4.
Just waiting, just waiting. So maybe there's that situation, but there's
I don't
definitely
know.
a gun there. Definitely a gun.
Okay, I
Mhm.
believe you on the gun, and he's real dusty. He's been there for a long time.
He's real dusty.
He's real
Mhm,
dusty.
mhm.
Um, and we can see that the symbol's on the floor
Yes,
in the dead,
yes,
yeah. So,
yes.
again, symbol. So now we get to the final scene.
And I
Oh,
just wanna say before you
yes.
get there, guys, if you haven't, watch the last 10 minutes of this episode.
It's
Really,
so
the
good.
way you have Wilderness Ty ascending the ladder, you have current day Ty descending the stairs. They're
Mhm.
all going towards something. You have
They're all
young Ty
converging.
approaching the coffin. It's what really well done.
It is really,
I was
really well
dorking out over the writing in that
Yeah,
part.
the writing and the editing, just
Yep.
the clip
Brilliant.
editing is really good.
Mhm.
But now we get to where Willowbrook Ranch, where
Mhm. Mhm.
Travis works. It's pouring rain, thunder, all the things. They pull in and start walking into the barn. There's a spotlight shining on
Mhm.
something, and Misty sees Travis first and tells Nat not to come in. Like even Misty knows, like, Nat should not see this. This is gnarly.
And this is what I love about this show. There's all these underlying themes, like the underlying theme of Misty comforting people throughout this
Mhm.
episode.
Yeah, she
You
takes
know what I
care
mean?
of
Yep.
people even though she creates so much
Yep.
of it.
Yep.
But Nat sees Travis hanging. I should have said trigger warning. Yeah, hanging from the crane, and she, falls to her knees and starts sobbing. And the scene pulls back. We hear sirens in the background, and this is where we start playing Ultravox's Vienna,
Mhm.
which they use again the first time Nat and Travis have sex in the wilderness.
Oh, did not know that.
They
Okay.
never used it in season 2 for the 2 of them, and I think that is a mistake because it
Mm.
so much becomes their anthem,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it's such a good song. And we see on the notebook where, if you moved a someone had written something such that if you move pencil over it, it left a
Mhm.
mark.
Yep.
It says the notebook says, "Tell Nat she was right."
Mhm.
We don't know what she's right about yet. We
Mhm.
still don't at the end of season 2 know what
Mm-mm.
she's right about.
Mm-mm.
Nat is sure that Travis was murdered. She does not believe he would kill himself.
Yeah.
And the cops pull in just as they start to pull away. And you just come to this big scene of Travis, and then you look down and it's the symbol on the floor with the
I have
candles.
a question. Who called the cops?
I don't know.
Do we think it was Lottie?
That would make sense. Ooh, you know what? I want to go back and watch that scene now with Lottie and
Mhm.
Travis,
Mhm.
see if it was raining.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
See if it was actually raining,
Mhm.
because that could tell us a lot.
This just felt like he did not hang himself.
I don't think he went there to kill himself, if he went there of his own accord.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily buy Lottie's explanation of what happened, that he wanted to approach death, but not get so he could
I don't either.
communicate with the thing in the woods. That just doesn't make sense to me.
I don't either. And why would you go to your work and do it? Like, why wouldn't you just, you
Right.
know, tie a belt to a ceiling fan? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, why would you go through
Do it
all
in
this?
such a dramatic way and
Yeah.
set up the symbol with candles on the floor, and
Yes.
it just
Yes.
it doesn't add up.
And we didn't see any of that in this
Mm.
episode. We didn't see what was on the ground. And I feel like if all of that was on the ground, wouldn't we have seen that?
We did see it. They pull up
Oh, okay.
at the
Okay.
very last scene. They, like, kinda do a drone shot, what I
Well,
imagine is
if
a
I
drone
was
shot.
Nat, I'd be like paying attention to that. Like, what's
Right.
going on here? I'd be taking pictures of it with my cell phone.
Yeah. But I can also see
Or Misty. Misty should know better.
Misty
Misty
should
should,
know better.
citizen
Nat was
detective
not
should know better.
Nat was clearly not in a state to make a good
Yeah,
choice.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, the love of
yeah.
her life just died.
Right, right,
Whether
right.
they're good or bad for each other, this is the love of her life.
Yeah, and she's not a is it Gen Z? Yes. Gen Zers through all that grief and pain would still be able to whip out that camera
Right,
and
exactly.
take
She's
some
us.
pictures. Yeah,
She is
she's
us, we
us.
are her. Except without the, drug addiction.
So let me ask you, what is something that you're seeing differently now?
I I'm seeing all of the places that Ty is already fractured, that they're showing us
Mm,
fractured Ty.
okay.
Um, and I'm really loving getting deep into the relationship between Shauna and Jackie.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when you take it a step below face value, you realize how really complicated and complex it is.
It is. And you had mentioned that you had a similar
Mhm,
friendship, right?
mhm.
Did you talk about that or am I having a fever
Um,
dream?
you're having a little bit of a fever dream. I didn't have
Okay.
that level of
Okay.
frenemy.
Maybe I talked to somebody else about this
Maybe.
then.
But, I mean, I have had complicated friendships with
So
people
have
and
I've had
yeah,
relationships like this.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like 100%. I've been in friendships with people who I knew hated me.
Mhm, mm,
100%.
yeah.
Like
I had a
it's
difficult friendship with somebody in that we were very codependent,
mm,
and then as I got healthier, she pulled away because I think she really enjoyed me not being emotionally healthy and
yeah,
relying on her so much.
yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
the
it's
thing. That happens.
yeah, and just seeing how complicated their relationship is, which you don't
Hmm.
notice on face value.
Hmm. Okay.
What about you?
Adam
Mm,
has me completely perplexed now because I was one of these people who was like, this Adam thing's going to turn out to be nothing.
okay.
And what I realize now is, again, because I'm late to this show and I didn't see season 1 in real time with everyone else,
Mhm.
I didn't understand where all these theories about Adam were sparking from because I'm
Got it.
like, guys, maybe he's just, this guy she runs into. The
Yeah.
murder was the thing that brought them together. So like
Yep.
maybe that's what purpose he served. But now I'm thinking, no way. He's serving a different purpose. And now I'm seeing why everyone was like, oh, he's Javi or he's her
Right.
son or he's like he is in the right place at the right time a little too
Too often.
conveniently. And
Yes,
what is
always.
going on? Who is Adam Martin? Is that his name?
Martin,
Yes.
yes, Adam Martin.
Who
Who
is
is Adam
Adam
Martin?
Martin? And again, what
And
a
I
simple fake name. Come on.
yep. I don't think we're ever gonna find out.
I don't know. I think we might.
I hope we do find out what the point of that whole thing was, but I could also see them just never picking it up again. Who
Hmm.
knows?
Then why do it?
I don't know. I don't know.
You know
I
what I
hope they
mean? Like
don't.
they could have used the blackmail and the cards and everything to bring them together.
Mhm.
But they
Mhm.
brought them together over that murder for some reason.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I mean, we learn a lot about how these women work together and how absolutely savage they can be when they need to be.
Hmm.
I know we're not supposed I don't think we're supposed to use the word savage anymore, but that's what they become.
Yeah. I just feel like it could he be So we at the end of season 2, Porn Stash wraps that all up, right? Like
Yep.
Porn Stash is gonna say Kevin killed Adam Martin, right? Is it Kevin that they frame for it?
Yes. Kevin.
Yeah. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, so the murder is put away. However, Porn Stash still has that knowledge. And then in season 3, are we going to find out he was somebody significant? Like, there's still so many players on the board that we don't know where they are.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
would he be age appropriate to be one of the other Yellowjackets sons? I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't think so.
think so. Because the only way he probably would be age appropriate to be anyone's son would be Shauna's in the woods, and we know he's not.
Right. Right. I don't know.
Though it would have been great if he had been, because then that would have made this even creepier. But no.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
is somebody. I'm convinced he is somebody.
Somebody. Yeah, I don't know who
Yeah.
though.
Kind of convinced. But I'm seeing it and like now I get it. You know what I mean? Now I
Mhm.
get why he was the subject of such lore
Yeah, huge
because
Reddit fodder, 'cause
Mhm. Oh,
what is
I went
happening
down
here?
that rabbit hole. That was woo. Woo.
Some
All right.
scariness on the Reddits.
So yeah, it's been very fun rewatching this episode.
Yes,
It
and
was
next week
interesting.
we have you up for whatever episode 4 is. I don't remember what it's called, but
Yeah, yeah,
we'll
we'll
know
get
next
that.
week.
Yeah. I want to remind everyone that there's no Yellowstone this week because Stephanie's on vacation. So she's at the
Stephanie.
ranch. So she's she's in she's at the beach and she's taking a well-deserved break.
Good
So
for her.
she's
Good for
there.
her.
And I'll be back with Leslie right after I hang up with you. I'm recording in just like that with Leslie.
Which I
So,
can't wait to hear, and we can chat about
oh,
on Backdoor
I
Friends.
have thoughts
Of
about this
course you do.
big comment that
Oh, I did
has the
not enjoy that.
backdoor friends in an uproar.
Yes, it does. It sure as heck does.
So listen to Leslie and I talk about in just like that if you want to hear our thoughts on that. All right, Amanda, thank you. It's been lovely spending Sunday crack of dawn with you.
You too, my friend, and I'm glad you had a wonderful time in Canada, and we will
Okay.
chat Yellowjackets next
Yeah,
week.
any documentaries? You sent me something.
I did, now I forget what it's called.
It's like the
But
murder or the end of somebody.
something or another. But yeah, it might be something we have to solve. We just have to go watch it and figure it out.
Yeah. Guys, we're always keeping our eyes open
Yeah, so
for a
please
good doc. So
let
please
us
let
know of
us know.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just the summer drought. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
we're
I
going to
think
get
so
raw
too.
dogged
In the
in the
well, we have
fall.
so much we want to do in the fall that we are, yes,
I
in
know.
fact, going to get raw dogged.
I know. I know. All right. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Instagram at Amanda Lipnack. I know Amy always links in the show notes like a good person that she is.
I do. I try.
You're good.
And you can find the show at Little Miss Recap on Instagram. I try to make some funny videos over there. I did a screen capture of Shauna and Jeff and their role playing.
Mhm, mhm.
Some fun stuff over there. So follow us on Instagram. We are on Facebook at Little Miss Recap, and you can join Backdoor Friends by
Yes.
clicking the link in the show notes. Also, if you want to support the show and hear some of our reality content, you can become a patron or a supercast person. I
Yes.
don't know, supercaster, whatever.
Sure, we'll go with that. That
Those
works.
links are in the show notes as well. So thank you everybody for listening. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.
See you soon.